So I've been a wedding videographer since 2005, and every wedding, all the vendors get seated at the same table, and we'd swap stories. And everybody would laugh, tell my stories, and inevitably somebody would say, "Oh, you should write a book." I'm like, "Okay, well, I did." But I've read other wedding publications of other people's crazy stories, and they were just depressing. And I want this to be a little fun. And I also didn't want to just regurgitate an event that happened. I have to add my 2 cents. And I guess it comes from my upbringing. I'm half Irish, half sarcastic on my mother's side. And this book achieves many objectives. It's a comedy, it's a pop culture smorgasbord, it's a what not to do, and I just hope people can learn from it. So when future brides get married, their day isn't ruined. You're spending so much money, why would you want it to go from something that's easily avoidable? A couple story examples. Photographer and I were seated with some guests for dinner, and it was family style. And if you know what that is, it's 5 plates of all kinds of different food, and it's all you can eat. So after everyone serves themselves, the photographer goes, "Is everybody done?" And we're like, "Yeah." So he proceeds to pull out a paper grocery bag filled with Tupperware. And I'm not kidding, he then proceeds to go. And we all sat there like, like that look if somebody said, Kanye West is a musical genius. It's like that kind of look. We're just like, oh. And so then the server comes over, and she's like, "Can I get you guys anything else?" He's like, "Yeah, one more of each." And then it's like, wow. So, I told that story to another photographer, and he's like, "That's classy." And he didn't even know I was writing a book. I'm like, "Yes, it is." There's a Zilla chapter. What's it? Not that one, no. Some things are on tape, and some things are not, and that one was not. There's a Zilla chapter, Bridezilla, Groomzilla, and a Famzilla. And there's one story for each, and it's the worst of the worst. And one example, for the Groomzilla, he showed up at the church in a chauffeur-driven Rolls Royce. Time for the ceremony to start, there's no bride. So the preacher, myself, and the photographers went outside, we're sitting on the steps. 10 minutes after the start time, the bride shows up, driving herself in a tiny blue Nissan. The priest even mentioned it in the sermon. He was so taken aback. So just to reiterate, groom, chauffeur-driven, Rolls Royce, bride, self-driven little blue Nissan. And the sad part is that was not in the top 5 of the worst things that this guy did that day. So this book is a pop culture smorgasbord. Whenever an event in real life happens that I can relate to a movie, I usually bring it up, do an impression. And that's just me talking to my friends. So when this happens, it's the same in the book. There's way too many references to the Road Warrior than you think there would be in a book about wedding stories. And if you don't get the references, don't worry, because there's an index in the back. I explain everything, and it also gives me an opportunity to tell another joke. For example, I make a joke about Kanye West. Who's Kanye West? So as I explain who he is, I get to, get a couple shots in. And this also is a what not to do. So most of the format of my stories are crazy story, reference, joke, lesson. There's a couple chapters I'm just straight up going, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, do this. And scheduling and speeches are really big ones. For example, there was a bride was getting ready at the Congress Hotel downtown. The church was on Irving Park Road. The wedding planner scheduled a 15-minute drive in a trolley. So I don't know if any of you people are from Chicago, but you could not get there in 15 minutes on a trolley if the city was empty. So needless to say, the whole day was thrown off schedule. They missed their entire cocktail hour, and it's like, you spent all that money, why would you want to miss anything on something so silly? Speeches. So many times people get up here with 5 pages of speeches, and they drone on, and they drone on, and they drone on. And when it comes time for their emotional moment or their punchline, everyone tuned you out 10 minutes ago. And it's kind of sad. You see the crushed look on the dad's face. Oh, nobody got what I was saying. It's like, yeah, because you went on for too long. And a lot of times people get up there with their phones, and this is what happens. Oh, I lost my page. Hold on. I'm not kidding. It went on for 5 minutes. It's like you can remember all 900 words to Ice Ice Baby, but you can't remember a couple nice things to say about your friends. So, I don't know. And I also try to give advice, please limit your F-bombs to no more than 2 per speech. And that's been broken. So lastly, I've actually picked up a lot of press. I don't know if anybody's seen this, but I've been in 9 newspapers, 2 out of state. WBBM News Radio did a piece on it all day. And I was on WGN Morning News. They gave me a segment, which is very nice. All these press clippings are on my Facebook page and on the book website. But the Facebook page is the one that's most up to date. So just a little example, here's the Daily Southtown front page. It's kind of neat. So anyway, yeah, just to sum it up, it's crazy stories. You don't even have to like weddings to read this. It's me doing jokes, it's me doing material, and it's just a lot of fun. Good, thanks. The Bridezilla one was pretty bad. She just didn't seem to like the new in-laws, and was caught talking about them, yelling at them pretty much all evening in front of people. It was quite embarrassing for everybody. So I would say if you're joining a new family, at least for one night, try to act like you like them. I mean, I know you didn't sign up for their garbage. You liked the person you're marrying, but you still kind of got to see them at least once or twice a year. I have an entire chapter on bad, inappropriate wedding songs. First dance songs, introduction songs, and I actually break it down and I tell you why this song is inappropriate. Everyone thinks Every Breath You Take is a great romantic song. It's about a stalker. So little things like that. So yeah, I pretty much every facet of a wedding when you're trying to plan, I cover. And actually, I mentioned speeches. I actually give an outline on how to give a good speech. I list, in my opinion, the greatest speech ever written. It's by me. And I break it down, in an outline form so you can kind of fit it for you. And also, some I forgot, there's original illustrations and jokes in the credit. So. Okay, brides-to-be, or anybody, eat first. So many people, they're so worried about everything, they don't eat till 6 o'clock, and then they do 3 shots of tequila. I try to, eat at least like a mini taco, an 8-pound steak, something to get in your stomach to get through the day. I have on video a best man who did several shots passing out during the ceremony. He does a face plant on the wooden steps. Bam! It was really loud. It was during a song. Everyone rushed over, picked him up, carted him out. He was okay. But the funny thing was the ceremony didn't stop. The ref said he's fine, play on, and the song kept going, and everyone just took one step over. And but yeah, don't drink alcohol until you've eaten.